The Chiefs just got both good and bad injury news from Thursday's practice, so we've got a ton of injury updates to get to in this video. But if you guys are new to this channel, my name is Michael Darcy and you're watching the KC Sports Report. Do me a big time favor and hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more daily Chiefs coverage. I first want to pull up this tweet from Matt McMullen. He is the Chiefs senior beat reporter. He said that Mike Dana and Christian Fulton won't practice for the Chiefs today. Dana is dealing with that quad injury, and Fulton is yet again dealing with that ankle injury. But everybody else, including Xavier Worthy and Jalen Royals, will practice in some capacity. And that's fantastic news. And going back to yesterday, a tweet from Harold R. Kuntz on Twitter, Andy Reid says that there are no limitations on practice for Worthy or Royals. So both guys were basically full goes in practice on Wednesday, and fast forward a day, I don't think their status has really changed. And I think that they're trending towards playing on Sunday, at least those two wide receivers. I'm not really sure what we have in, Dana and Fulton. So far, Fulton has been a massive disappointment. This guy was an injury-prone corner in Los Angeles. The Chiefs took a bet. The Chiefs made a gamble. And so far, it hasn't paid off. Now, there's a lot of football left to be played. And, maybe he gets healthier as the season goes on. But most of the time, you are going to be as healthy as you're going to be to start the season. And so far, that hasn't been the case for Christian Fulton. And I think that you've kind of seen the secondary struggle because of that. The Chiefs brought him in this offseason to be that outside corner so they could put Trent McDuffie back in the slot. But since he hasn't been playing, Spags has been putting McDuffie on the outside, and that has resulted in some less than ideal coverage. And that's not saying that McDuffie is bad on the outside, but he was all pro in the slot. And so if Fulton can come back and actually play, it's going to make this defense and specifically secondary better, because then you can move McDuffie back at his natural position in the slot. So hopefully we see those guys play on Sunday. I'm not really sure what direction the Chiefs are going to go in. Dana got hurt against the Eagles on Sunday. Fulton also got banged up. But Xavier Worthy and Jalen Royals are both players that I think will play on Sunday. Both could be limited in their production. Royals is coming off of not IR, but he had knee tendonitis that he suffered in the preseason, and it took him a while even just to get back to practice. In fact, this is his first week at practice during the regular season, so I think the Chiefs are going to be careful with him, and they'll ease him into the actual games. But with someone like Xavier Worthy, who I think is trending to play this Sunday, he's going to be playing with a brace on because he dislocated his shoulder and he's dealing with that labrum. But I think that the Chiefs have to play Worthy as long as he is physically good enough to go. I understand that he might not be 100%, but the Chiefs need Xavier Worthy out there to at least draw the Giants' defense, attention. You've got so many question marks in that wide receiver room that if the Chiefs can put Worthy out there, and even if you just say, hey, X, just run right down the field, take a defender or two with you, it's going to make this offense better, because then Travis Kelce and, Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown can take that underneath stuff, because I'm sure the Giants are pretty terrified about Tyquan Thornton and Xavier Worthy beating them deep downfield. So I do think that if Worthy is capable of playing, he should play, because what he is going to force the Giants defense to do will help Patrick Mahomes and the offense. But I don't expect either wide receiver to be 100%. In fact, I know that we were all really excited to see what Jalen Royals could do, because he was going to be that Rashee Rice replacement. Both have similar body types. Both kind of play the same role. But I don't know if you're going to see Royals in his first NFL regular season game coming off of a pretty serious injury where he was dealing with that tendonitis for multiple weeks. I don't think you're going to see that guy come in and make an immediate impact. I think it's going to take a couple months for him to not only learn the playbook, but get caught up to speed. And so I'm not super optimistic in Royals making an impact on Sunday, but Xavier Worthy could be. I mean, he might be forced to go out there and, have the same workload that he would even if he wasn't injured. And part of that is because, hey, we don't have the wide receivers right now to let guys not play. And you saw, Worthy looked good at practice. He had a one-handed catch like very soon after he dislocated his shoulder. So I think the hands are still there. I'm a little worried on him taking a massive hit downfield or landing on that shoulder wrong, because I think the Chiefs are one big hit away from Xavier Worthy potentially missing the rest of the season. I think that's kind of a risk you have to take, though, because again, with all the wide receiver injuries and the unknown, you can't really, be safe with Xavier Worthy when you're 0-2. This is a must-win game on Sunday. It's all hands on deck. If you can play, you're going to play. And so I wouldn't be surprised if all the guys that ended up on the injury report today will end up playing on Sunday. It'll really depend on who practices tomorrow, because if we see the same guys practicing today and the same guys that don't practice tomorrow, they're probably going to get ruled out for Sunday. That's just what Andy Reid has typically done, and I don't think that he's going to deviate from that now. But I want to talk more about these wide receiver injuries and the injuries overall, and we'll do that right after the break. This video is sponsored by my friends over at DM Injury Law. Injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation, but time is critical. Rely on the experienced personal injury attorneys at DM Law, Kansas City and Missouri's top injury law firm. DM Law is a full-service personal injury practice supported by a large team of investigators, case managers, medical records specialists, and more. And best of all, you don't pay unless they win. DM Law operates on a contingency fee basis, meaning no fees unless they win your case. And they also provide free consultations. So if you've been injured, don't wait. You can contact DM Law today for a free consultation and learn how they can help you pursue the compensation you deserve. Let them handle the fight while you focus on healing. Hurt in a car wreck? Call Mike. Remember, Mike's got this. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Thanks to DM Injury Law for sponsoring this video. Now, getting into the question, will Xavier Worthy play on Sunday? I think that he probably could have played against the Eagles. It would have been a stretch. It would have been much more dangerous. But like I said before the break, the Chiefs are going into a must-win football game. You can't mess around anymore. You started your season off 0-2. You need to win this game, and it's all hands on deck. And Xavier Worthy was such a big part of this offense going into the season. When you lost him right away, you saw the offense struggle. And so I think that, integrating Worthy back into this offense hopefully can provide some juice, hopefully can get some of the other guys on this team going. I think that we all want to see the Chiefs' running game actually produce. The Giants have the worst rushing defense in the league. They're horrible. They can't stop the run. I want to see Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt actually run the football. But if they don't, you got to find your wide receivers. And it seems like the Chiefs are going to have two new ones this week with Royals and Worthy. So that is a very positive sign. I think that both of them probably will play. We're still kind of waiting to see what, Mike Dana and Christian Fulton end up doing and if they'll end up playing on Sunday. I'm not sure. I'm leaning towards yes, but we'll find out more after Friday's practice. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. What do you think of Xavier Worthy and Jalen Royals being back on the practice field, getting in those reps in some capacity? And I think that is a very good sign for the Chiefs offense. And hopefully they can just score some damn points this weekend. But that's all I've got for this video. Hit that like button, subscribe for more daily Chiefs content. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video. And as always, go Chiefs.